Today I'm creating a card using the Gold Glitter Relief Paste, and I'm doing a technique with this paste that I haven't ever seen done before. It might be out there in YouTube land, but I haven't found it yet. Anyway, without further ado, let's get into it. For this technique, we're going to be using Altenew's 3D Arch Foliage Embossing Folder, the Gold Glitter Relief Paste by Altenew, and Altenew's alcohol markers. We're also going to be using Hammermill's 100-pound smooth cardstock. I've already tried this technique once and I had a massive fail. So later on in this video, I'm going to tell you what I did that failed and how I fixed it so that you can learn from my mistakes. So be sure to keep watching. I've been up here all morning playing and doing different things, but I'm going to try this technique again. And I'm going to use a piece of cardstock. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring in the colors that I used before, because this is going to be, I'm going to use these 4 colors because I'm going to use the foliage again. So let's do, we're going to go from lightest to darkest. I want the, it tells you, I just don't look, the skinny or the thick. I want the thick nib. They're both brush nibs. Well, this one's a brush nib. This one is well, it's a smaller tip. It's not really a brush though. It's more of like a marker. This one's actually a brush tip. So I'm going to go ahead and put some ink down. And what I'm going to do, what I did in the last video, I'm going to try this again. And I'm going to put some darker markers on here too. See, that's too light, honestly. I'm going to go darker. That's the small one. I knew that too. I knew it when I opened it. I'm going to go darker. Okay, with these little lined ones, I'm going to go darker. Okay, I think we can do this. Now, I don't know why it failed last time, but I'm going to do it one more time. But the last time what I used was alcohol, but it wasn't isopropyl alcohol. And I think maybe that was the problem. So this time I'm going to use 100% isopropyl alcohol, because these are alcohol markers. And I used rubbing alcohol in the last one. And really, it's because I had very little of the isopropyl and I didn't want to use it. And I thought, oh, let's try that. So that was really, I didn't think it was going to make that big of a difference. But now I'm thinking it did make a huge difference. So we're going to try this again. And I'm just going to really quickly ink these up as fast as I can. But I'm just going in, and this is, I'm using B714 for this one. Yeah. And I'm doing this on the indented side, not the raised side. Because when I close this over the raised side, I want the raised side to be what is going to have the ink on it. And because the raised side comes down into the indented side, it's definitely what I want. Actually, I'm going to do this a little, these leaves a little darker. And these inks, they're really, they have like a metallic sheen to them. They're really pretty. Yeah. I've been inking all morning, but I've also been having to scrub my brush here. Oh, look how clean I got it, by the way. I did get it clean. If you watched the last video, you know this was very stained and I couldn't get it out. But I put the 100% isopropyl alcohol on here to see if I could get it out, and it worked, which is what made me think, well, that means that this will probably work if I use that instead of water or the rubbing alcohol. So See, my fails are your wins, because then I learn and then you learn because I record it all. So I'm actually going to go in now. I'm going to come down here. I am going to, this is the darkest one. I'm going to do these here in the darkest color. We got a new pool this year. Finally, it was a 4-year project. We still have to get the deck up, which we're working on. And we are going to go swimming this afternoon, which actually I've been and that's why I don't even like put makeup on or anything anymore, because at least not for the summer, because I've been swimming every day since we got it up last week. And I don't want to go put makeup on and then go swimming and take it all off. So I figure I'm going to do my videos with no makeup because I want to be able to get the videos out in the morning and then have the rest of my day to, you know, do my thing and swim or whatever for the summer. You know, we're 60 this year, so we've decided to kind of take it slower and go. And when I say take it slower, my husband still works full time, but he hasn't been working every day, not near as much. And we have been just really taking it easy and enjoying this summer. Getting in the pool, hanging out at home, playing with our toys. I mean, he's still working, don't get me wrong, but he has definitely taken it a lot slower than he's used to. Okay, and now I'm going to come in with the next darkest color. Well, this is this is lighter than the darkest color. I don't know, that might be, that's a very metallic-y looking one. I like it a lot. Not worried if the colors mix a little bit. I mean, it'll get on the nibs, but it's not going to go up into the ink tube here, like the barrel. It's, oops. Okay, we want in there, and we want in here. We definitely don't want it there. Okay. I know I just got all this ink off here and I'm doing it again, but you know, it's part of the game. You have to. You just have to try. You have to take risks in life, and this is my risk in life. Okay. I'm actually going to go through and do all the ink colors with this little tiny nib, because I can get in the, oh, I'm not on the camera. I can get in the crevices with that. These are smaller crevices that I can't get into with that bigger nib. All right, I think it's going to work. I think this is enough. Oops. All right, so now I'm going to spray it with alcohol, because this is alcohol markers, so this should work. Let me see if I have a fuller bottle. Okay. Now, we're going to run it through and see if we can get this to come off. Where do I want this at? I think I want it about right there. Okay, let's spray it again. Make sure alcohol dries fast. We want to make sure that we get it down in there. Okay, I'm going to run this through my machine and see what it comes out like. Okay, this is a better sign. We did have stuff ooze out onto the cutting plate, which is nice because that means something's moving. Ooh, yes, it worked much better with the isopropyl. I'm going to quickly explain a couple things that I did differently to make this work. Number one, you'll notice on that first cardstock, I have some bleeding, but mainly it just didn't transfer. And that's because the alcohol that I was using was rubbing alcohol and not isopropyl alcohol. 100%, by the way. And that helped it to transfer. Now, the bleeding is because I didn't use smooth cardstock. So I switched from Nina Index cardstock is what I believe I was using. And that's what caused all that bleeding and heavy darkness. But when I switched over to smooth cardstock, you'll notice that I got a much better transfer. That's 100% Hammermill smooth cardstock. So 100% alcohol, isopropyl, and then smooth cardstock. You'll notice now that I'm struggling to get this press and seal off of the jar, and that's because I didn't clean the jar before I closed the lid. So the lid was hard to get off, and now that press and seal is hard to get off. But if you clean it, that won't happen. So just be sure to wipe your jar off before you close it up. Now I'm bringing in some paper towels so that I can keep the mess to a minimal. The first time I did this, I didn't have a paper towel and I made a mess on my glass mat, which does come off, but you have to use a little bit more elbow grease, and I didn't want to work that hard this time. So now I'm going to take that paste and I'm going to put it over the indentation side of the embossing folder. So the raised side is not where I'm putting the paste. And I'm using my silicone, this is Nuvo's product, but you can use any silicone brush. And I'm going to brush this onto my embossing folder. Now, if you don't use, by the way, you want to make sure that you stir this up, because if you don't stir it up, that glue kind of rises to the top and you want to stir that glue and glitter back up. That's what creates this paste. So now I'm covering the whole embossing folder, well, the indentation parts of the embossing folder, to get that. I want all that glue or that paste to go inside the indentation as much as possible. And you'll see in a minute, this is okay that it's a mess because I'm going to scrape this up and then we're not going to have as much, on here, and it's going to be a much cleaner look. You'll see that happens here in just a second. I'm just spreading that all over, making sure that I fill those indentations so that I can get a good transfer onto my cardstock from the embossing folder. So I'm just putting enough on there just to really, really get that in there. So I've seen each of these two techniques as separate techniques, but I've never seen them mixed together like this. And I started trying to be careful when I started this, but then I decided I didn't really care to be careful because I'm going to take my scraper over it here in a second and scrape all that off of the cardstock. So now I'm cleaning my silicone brush, not really cleaning it, but brushing all that extra off back into my jar. And I'm going to take my scraper, and you're going to see we're going to get a lot of paste off that scraper that we're going to be able to put right back into our jar. And it's going to clean the embossing area up quite a bit. The scrapers are pretty amazing for that. So now we have the embossing, or the paste, right in the embossed area, or debossed area that we want to have it in. So that's exactly how I want it. Now you have to move quickly here because this stuff dries quick. It dries fast. So you want to make sure that you get that cardstock in there before it dries, and you have to have time to line your cardstock back up with the indentation because, we've already embossed it once when we inked it. So now we have to line it up and get it back where it was so that we aren't, we get that glitter, the paste, right back onto the area that we have inked up. Okay, so I'm just lining that up, and I'm using my electric machine. I do not recommend this because what happens is this is going to ooze out the bottom, and then it could possibly get into your machine. So, I don't recommend, don't do what I do, just learn from my mistakes, right? So I'm going to go ahead and go emboss this. Now you are going to get the paste onto your cutting plate. So I recommend using a cutting plate that you don't use all the time. I do not recommend using your electric machine or the magnetic plate. I would use a clear plate and I would use your mechanical machine, because your manhandling machine, your hand cranking machine, that's what I should say. I would use that over using the electric machine or the magnetic plate. Use a clear plate because it's going to be easier. And you might even want to designate a clear plate for this type of technique if you're going to do this. And then when you do, after it's embossed, you want to make sure you get it out there quickly, because the cardstock will dry, and then your cardstock will, the glue, the paste will dry, and then your cardstock will get stuck inside the embossing folder, and it's a beast to get off, because that's what I did last time. So anyway, look at all that glue, that paste, that glitter that is mixing with the ink. It just looks like it's like laced in the ink, and it's just so beautiful. I love it. And I even love the speckles that we got around the rest of the cardstock. It looks like spatter, and it's really not. It's just the glitter that got all over the place. So anyway, so now I'm going to go clean this up. And what I'm going to do, first of all, you'll notice that I'm taking my rag, and I am definitely going to wipe everything down as best I can. Some of that glitter is not going to come off. Some of the glue is going to get stuck on there. I'm okay as long as it's dry and it's not going to get in my machine. But again, if you use a dedicated cutting plate for this, you're not going to have the issues that I'm having here trying to get all of this off. And, I'm just showing you this so that you can learn from my mistakes and not do what I did, right? All right. So now I'm also going to wipe off the embossing folder as much as I can. But also, if you have a tub of wet water, that's funny. If you have a tub of water next to you, then you can just throw it into the tub of water, which I did the first time, but I didn't the second time. So it was kind of, I was kind of more in a hurry to get that cleaned up. And then now I'm wiping off the jar so that the lid doesn't get stuck on here again, and the press and seal doesn't get stuck. So you'll notice now that because I'm wiping it off the jar, the lid's going to go on it better. But you do want to put your press and seal on there, because if you put the press and seal on in between the lid and the jar, then it's going to preserve the paste, and the paste isn't going to dry out as fast on you. I just forgot to do that first time. And so now I had to take the lid off and put my press and seal back on, which is fine. I'm not worried about anything that's on the press and seal because it's dry. So now I'm putting my lid back on, and I should be good to go. The next time I want to open this, I shouldn't have any issues at all. That's the thing about messing with the camera while you're doing it. All right, so that's it. I don't know. Tell me what you think about this technique. Is it something you're going to try? And hey, by the way, if you're still here with me and you're still watching, I want to let you know how thankful I am that you are here. I appreciate you so much. And if you like videos like this, go ahead and give it a like so that YouTube will tell other people about it. And subscribe so that you never miss a video, and hit the bell so that you get notified every time we put one out. I appreciate you being here so much again, and I'll see you in the next video.